This is a brief description of how I make chow mein. In the first picture, we see the ingredients that I use to make chow mein. Chow mein means fried noodles, so other than noodles, you can feel free to improvise. At the top of the picture are the noodles I used. Normally, I use fresh chow mein noodles from a Chinese grocer, but I wanted to try using these cheaper, readily available dried egg noodles found in most grocery stores. The end result was chow mein just as good, according to experts. At the top right of this picture are the various sauces I use. From right to left, oyster sauce, approximately a quarter cup, a little less than that. Sesame oil, about a teaspoon. Some sweet soy sauce, also on the label identified as K-cap manis, followed by chili sauce. I use about a quarter cup of the sweet soy, a tablespoon or so of the chili sauce. This particular one is called laoganma. It happens to be quite a dark sauce, and it has peanuts in it as well, but any equivalent substitute could be used. Beside that is just some regular light soy sauce, and then some sweet chili sauce. This one is actually quite a different sauce. It's quite a spicy one. The other ingredients include chicken stock, just a package of OXO in about 3/4 of a cup of hot water. I use fresh shrimp, some green onions, carrot, sweet red pepper, bok choy, and bean sprouts. At the left of the picture you see a fresh ham that I made a while ago and will use in the chow mein instead of barbecue pork, which is what I would normally use, purchased at the Chinese grocer. This fresh ham was as good as the barbecue pork, and I'll definitely be using that again in the future. The next picture is just the egg noodles after they've been cooked in boiling water for approximately 3 minutes and then drained in a colander. At this point they're still quite firm, al dente, more than al dente, but they're going to continue to cook further in the stir-fry process, so that's fine for now. In this next picture we see all of the ingredients that I've chopped and prepared in preparation for the stir-fry process, which will take about 10 minutes from start to finish from here on. I've chopped the carrot, the sweet pepper, some fresh ginger root, green onions, the ham, the peeled shrimp. I chopped the bok choy and I've separated the white stem part, which takes longer to cook, from the green leafy part. At the left, beside the chicken broth, is some fried garlic. I sometimes use, optional. Could also use fresh garlic, or you can just leave it out entirely. In the middle at the top, you can see the sauce that I'm going to use towards the end of the stir fry. You can tell from looking at it, it's a little less than half a cup. I've used this mortar and pestle because the chili actually has some whole peanuts in it, and I just use the mortar and pestle to crush those up and mix everything together. So it's a blend of mostly oyster sauce, sweet soy sauce, a little bit of regular soy, some sesame oil, and the chili paste. This is the pan I use. It's the largest fry pan I have. You can use a wok if you have one. This one happens to be Teflon. It's not really needed. So put some canola oil in there and it's ready to start cooking. Starting with the carrot and the white part of the bok choy, or any other crunchy vegetable that's going to take a little longer than other vegetables such as the red pepper. After stirring this, frying it for a couple of minutes, about 2 minutes let's say, I'll add the red pepper, the ginger, and the garlic and give that a stir for a minute or so. And then add the noodles and stir everything together for about a minute or so. Then add the chicken stock and give everything a good stir for a couple of minutes. In this picture, I've pushed the noodles a bit to the side, and I'm going to cook the shrimp in the little space I made. The shrimp could also be cooked separately and added later. It's totally up to the cook at this point as to how you want to incorporate those into the noodles. In this picture, the shrimp are cooked. I'm adding the ham, the green part of the bok choy, and I'm using 2 spoons, as I have throughout the cooking process, to mix everything up, give it a good stir for a minute or 2. In the next picture, I've added the sauce. Stir that in, give it a good mix in the pan for a minute or 2. And finally, at the end, I'm going to add the bean sprouts and the green onions. At this point, I'm going to turn off the stove, let it continue to cook in the warm pan, stir everything, give it a good mix, and that's about it. The total time after the noodles have already been cooked and all the ingredients have been chopped is approximately 10 minutes from start to finish. So it's a pretty easy, quick, delicious meal, and it keeps in the fridge after the first tasting of it, if there's any left, for several days, and it's just as good the next day and for days after.